Hi, everybody. Just getting set up here. We're going to be doing some horoscopes for the Mars in Capricorn Cazimi that'll be coming up in the beginning of January. So just getting set up here a little bit. Just getting set up here. We're going to be doing and I've got to change that out. I'm doing some setup here. That's all. Yeah, so let me just, I'm just trying to get my monitors off here. Got a few things going on. So, yeah, it's just going to take just a second here to get set up. But again, we're going to be doing the horoscopes for Mars in Capricorn. I'll be doing all 12 signs. And this is in celebration or in honor of or in recognition of the upcoming class I'm going to be teaching for Synchronicity University. This is going to be on the 5 cosmic catalysts for your best year yet in 2026. In that class, I will be covering the 5 archetypes of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Uranus. And Mars is the first of the archetypes that I'll be covering there. So, since Mars is the first archetype, it starts off the year with this incredible Cazimi with Venus in the sign of Capricorn, its exaltation. I thought that it was a perfect opportunity for me to jump in and do these horoscopes. These are kind of out of the cycle for when I would normally do a horoscope series in the full moon or the new moon. But we're going to go ahead and do this in honor of this class. If you haven't signed up for that class, in the description below, the very first line is a link to the page where you can sign up. Up until December 31st, it's choose your own tuition. So you can get the whole course is 5 classes, and you can choose to go down to as low as $5 a class if you'd like. Obviously, you can choose more if you can afford it. It helps me out. It helps Nadia Shah and Synchronicity University out. We are bringing a lot of great content to you. So if you can, pay more. And if not, you can go down to as low as $5 a class. That would be $25 for the whole course. And you can choose your own tuition rate all the way up until December 31st. So you've got a few days left, but might as well head on over and sign up for it now. The link is in the description below. If for some reason you can't find it there, you can just head on over to synchronicityuniversity.com. And I'm one of the first tiles that you'll see. And go ahead and click on that, click through, and you'll be able to sign up for that class. So today when I do this, these horoscopes, kind of let me walk through how these are going to go. I'm going to be talking about, first of all, I'm going to start with Capricorn rising instead of Aries rising. Since we're honoring Capricorn, this is Capricorn season. Mars is in Capricorn. It's all about this Venus-Mars Cazimi. In case you're not aware of what a Cazimi is where a planet comes into the heart of the sun. So that's a Cazimi is when the 2 planets are lined up, the planet and the sun. And in this case, it's Venus and Mars are in the same degree of the zodiac as the sun is. And that's what we call a Cazimi. So I'll be starting off with Capricorn rising, and I'm going to be covering 4 different aspects for each horoscope. I'll kind of talk about the broad archetype of Capricorn for that rising sign. So as the rising sign changes, Capricorn moves around the zodiac wheel into a different house. And as Capricorn moves into a different house, we have a different Capricornian archetype that gets exuded. And that's that particular Capricornian archetype is the one that will be activated for that particular rising sign. So I'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about the traditional concepts of that house and where this Cazimi is going to be landing. Then I'll give a brief sentence or two of insight for the horoscope for that particular rising sign. and then a brief little initiation of what we might be able to do to take action or to set an intention for being able to channel and harness and bring that energy into our daily lives and into our daily practice. So that's going to be the structure for doing the rising signs for the horoscopes. And I'll be kind of just ticking through those here. And just as a reminder, this is in honor of the upcoming class I'm doing for Synchronicity University, the 5 cosmic catalysts for your best year yet in 2026. Again, the archetypes are Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Uranus. The reason why Neptune's not in there is Neptune and Saturn are kind of running hand in hand for most of the year. They're both in the same sign, and or they will be coming up here. Or I guess most of the time they're in the same sign. They'll be transitioning into Aries here in February, but they're kind of running together. So I didn't separate Neptune out into a separate class. But, you know, those are the 5 classes that we'll be talking about. And yeah, just kind of wanted to go ahead and get started here with Capricorn rising. So Capricorn rising is the archetype of the elder soul. And the traditional concept of the rising sign is the helm. This is the body, it's the character, it's the spirit, it's the head, it's the house that guides us and brings us into our chart. And if we go out into the night sky or the day sky, and we look out to the eastern horizon, and we look at where the ascendant degree is at, that ascendant degree fluctuates north to south to north again, back and forth. And that fluctuating back and forth is very metaphorically aligned with a rudder or the helm of a boat. And so they call the first house the helm, and it represents where we steer our life from, where we put our intentions and where our body and our character and our spirit originate from. So the insight for this Capricorn rising for Mars, Venus, and Sun in Capricorn on the 7th of January. The insight for this is with the Sun there and Venus and Mars there, you aren't really reinventing yourself. It's more about remembering yourself and stepping into the role of the old soul. And this is the wisdom of the body. Capricorn is an earth sign and it speaks to form. So this is the wisdom of the body. It's about knowing your limits, your endurance, and your physical needs without apology. And the initiation for the Capricorn rising is to stop explaining yourself. Move with the quiet of someone who has nothing to prove. Adopt a look or a title that reflects your tenure, not your trendiness. So that's kind of the overall initiation, how we can set an intention for this particular time coming up in January. The Cazimi is a powerful moment. It's a moment where we can really connect with that solar energy that is being imbued into each of the planets that are coming into Cazimi. And with Mars and Venus there, it's representing this balance between the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine. Now we can go ahead and move on to the second house, pushing Capricorn into the second house. And this is where we have Sagittarius rising. So if you're a Sagittarius rising, this horoscope is for you. I'm a Sag rising, so I can relate to a lot of this. The archetype for Sag rising is the steward. Now, this is not the Sag rising archetype. I guess the steward could line with Sag rising in general, but we're really tapping into the Capricornian themes with this set of horoscopes that I'm talking about. The traditional concept or the traditional name for the second house, which is where Capricorn lands when you have Sagittarius rising, at least by whole sign, is the gate of Hades. And this represents our livelihood, our resources, and our support. And the gate of Hades is that boundary where the souls emerge from Hades into the living realm, into the realm of the human. And so we have the gate of Hades. It's representing our livelihood, our resources, and our support. And our insight for the Sag rising sign in Capricorn, with Mars in Capricorn for this cazimi, is the fight for survival is over. And now begins the work of stewardship. And this is going to be the theme for the year, in a sense, because this is happening right at the beginning of the year. And it's such a powerful experience where Mars is starting the whole Mars cycle all over again. So Mars is being reborn in this, and Mars is going to be traveling direct all year long. So Mars here isn't about getting money or, acquiring things. It's about the wisdom of keeping it. It's the understanding the difference between a resource and a burden. So that's what Mars is about, discernment. So how do we understand the difference between what is a resource for us and what's a burden? What do we need to just let go? And what do we need to hold on to and tend? And the initiation for Sag rising for this this Mars cazimi is to audit your resources with a cold, wise eye. That's that cutting Mars eye. Cut the expenses that drain your energy, not just your bank account, and invest in tools that will last a lifetime. So it's really important for that Capricorn in the second house energy. Mars, Venus having their cazimi there is going to be a powerful reorienting for the Sag rising folks. Again, I'm one of those Sag rising folks, so I can relate to that pretty strongly. So for the Scorpio rising, that puts Capricorn into the third house. And this is the archetype of the silent practitioner. And again, for those that are just joining, where I'm giving these horoscopes for in honor of the cazimi that Mars is going to be having with the Sun and Venus in the beginning of January, and pointing out that you're able to sign up for my class, the 5 cosmic catalysts for your best year yet in 2026. We'll be covering the archetypes of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Uranus. So you can sign up now. Go to the link in the description below to synchronicityuniversity.com/Ryan Hunt, and you'll be able to sign up there up until December 31st for a choose your own tuition rate, going with classes going down to as low as $5 per class. Okay, so Capricorn in the third house, which is Scorpio rising. The archetype here is the archetype of the silent practitioner. And we have the house of the goddess, which is where Capricorn lives when Scorpio is rising. And we're talking about ritual, skill, kin, communication. These are the concepts that are the joy of the moon. These are lunar concepts. These are the ideas of the goddess, what the goddess rejoices in. And so again, ritual, skill, kin, our relations, blood or otherwise, chosen family, communication. And the insight here is that Mars is the ruler of the ascendant. So with Scorpio rising, Mars has an even stronger role to play. So Mars is the ruler of the ascendant and exalted in the third house. So he becomes the master craftsman. And this isn't just about winning arguments. It's about the wisdom of skill. It is the mechanic who knows exactly where to tap the engine. The initiation here for the Scorpio rising, Capricorn in the third house for this January and for the year of 2026 is speak less. And when you do speak, let it be the final word. Dedicate yourself to the practice of a difficult manual or technical skill. Become the authority in your local sphere. So those are just a couple things. Obviously, there's a whole, we could go on and on for each of these rising signs. These are just a few key pointers. If they land for you, great. I encourage you to take them and run with them. And if not, hopefully there at least be a reflection for you to think about how else you might set your intention and start pouring your aspirations in for the year to come. I think it was in the early 90s, actually, when Venus and Mars were together. I can't remember if that's when they were cazimi, but I think they were both together in what is called the underworld, where both of them are invisible. They're both under the beams of the sun together. I might have to go back and look, but I think that was back in the 90s. So now we're moving into the Libra rising. This is where Capricorn lands in the 4th house. And for those of you that are just joining, welcome. I'm just running through the 12 horoscopes for the 12 rising signs with Mars, Venus, cazimi in Capricorn. That's happening in the beginning of January. So this is for Libra rising. This is the archetype of the foundation stone. And the traditional concept of the 4th house is the subterranean place. This is the place of ancestors, home, hidden roots. And the insight here is that this is the wisdom of the architect. And you are dealing with the load-bearing walls of your life. It's about making peace with the past so it can support the future structure. And the initiation or the intention and aspiration that we can set here is to secure our base. This might mean repairing a physical home or setting a boundary with a family that is firm, kind, and non-negotiable. Be the rock that the rest of the family leans on. So that was the 4th house, Libra rising with Capricorn in the 4th house. Now we have Virgo rising. And so this shifts Capricorn into the 5th house. And the archetype here is the magnum opus. And again, for those of us that are just joining us, this is in honor of the class that I'm going to be teaching in the beginning of January. You can go into the description below. It's with Synchronicity University. It should be the first link. You can travel through to that and sign up for my class for as low as $5 a class, so $25 for the whole course. And that's starting on January 7th. It's going to be going for 5 weeks every week after the 7th. So for the Virgo rising chart, we have the traditional concept of the 5th house is the house of good fortune, where we talk about creativity, children, pleasure, romance, the things that really are Venusian in their character. The 5th house is the joy of Venus. And this is where all the things that bring pleasure into our lives kind of land in and originate. This is where we do the things that give us and we deliver our legacy to the world through. And Mars here isn't playing. So when Mars lands in Capricorn here, he isn't playing. He's building the monument. This is the wisdom of the artist who treats their creativity with the respect of a profession. It is the joy found in rigorous discipline. So this is the Capricornian Martian theme coming into the 5th house. And the initiation here, the intention and aspiration that we can bring to this particular rising sign is to commit to a creative project that is difficult and requires endurance. And if you have children, mentor them rather than manage them. Create something that will outlive you. Again, this is about creating your legacy. All right, so now we move to Leo rising, and this places Capricorn into the 6th house. And again, before we move on, I'll just point out that the link to the class that I'm teaching in January, the 5 cosmic catalysts for your best year yet, is in the description below. Please feel free to click through to that and sign up for my class. The first one is in honor of Mars. So it's Mars focused on our first class, the archetype of Mars. And these rising signs are all about Mars and Venus cazimi with the sun in the beginning of Capricorn, the exaltation of Mars. So with Leo rising, Capricorn, and the Mars-Venus cazimi is going to land in your 6th house. And the archetype for this configuration is the fixer. And the traditional concept for the 6th house, the traditional name for it is the house of bad fortune. And it's where we think about duty, injury, service, our bodies, health can land here. And the insight for this rising sign is the wisdom one here is reliability. If you are the one who knows how to fix the machine when it breaks, it is the quiet dignity of service and the mastery of problem solving. And the initiation here for Leo rising is to streamline your workflows. Fix the health issue that has been nagging you, not with a fad, but with a sustainable lifestyle change. The most competent person in the room is who you need to be. So this is how we can set our intention, set our aspiration for our Leo rising friends out there. Now we can move on to Cancer rising. With Cancer rising, Capricorn lands in the 7th house. And the archetype for this configuration is the partner in time. The traditional concept of the 7th house is known as the setting place. It speaks about our relationships, our contracts, our one-on-one, the otherness of anything that we have to do with. This could be business partnerships, our marriage contracts, and our partners in marriage. And even like if we have a client-based practice, our clients can be in the 7th house. This is really the other, any kind of one-on-one type of relationship. And the insight here for Cancer rising is this is not the heat of a new romance. This is the solidity of a golden anniversary. It is the wisdom of knowing who can endure the long winter with you. It is a partnership based on mutual respect and shared duty. And the initiation, the intention and aspiration for Cancer rising here is going to be to formalize a partnership, deepen a commitment. And if you're in conflict, seek a resolution that honors the longevity of the bond, not the emotion of the moment. Again, this is for the whole year, so you can take these themes and set them at the beginning of the year with your resolutions, your intentions, and kind of think about how this is going to play out for the year to come. And if you want to learn more about the archetype of Mars, as well as the other 4 archetypes that I'll be talking about in my class, you can follow the link in the description below to Synchronicity University and book through there. It's as low as $5 a class right now up until the 31st. So looking forward to seeing you there if you're interested in that. And let's go ahead and move on to the Gemini rising. This is for the, this places Capricorn in the 8th house. And we think of this archetype as the archetype of the estate planner. And again, welcome to those who have joined recently. It's hard for me to keep track of the numbers that are fluctuating. So I see there's a few people on right now, but so it's good to have you here and welcome. If you have any questions, you can type them into the chat. I'm trying to monitor a little bit of the chat as well, so feel free to do that. But we're going to move on here with with Gemini rising. And this is, again, Capricorn is going to land in the 8th house, the 8th whole sign house. And this is the archetype of the estate planner. The traditional concept for the 8th house is the idle place, the place of inheritance, death, transformation, shared assets. And the insight for this configuration starting in January is this is the wisdom of acceptance. It is facing the inevitabilities of life, debt, taxes, mortality, and change with a stoic calm. It is handling other people's mess with grace. And the initiation here is to settle an old debt. Sometime this year, think about it. What debt can you settle? And this doesn't have to be a monetary debt. This can be a karmic debt, but settle an old debt. Organize your estate or your long-term investments. Engage in therapy that focuses on acceptance and integration rather than trauma mining. Really powerful statements. So we can think about this. Again, this is for Gemini rising. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and yeah, it's good. It's good for us to keep in mind here. Next, moving on to Taurus rising, puts Capricorn in the ninth house. And the archetype of this Capricorn in the ninth house with this Mars, Venus, Cazimi is the tenured professor. The traditional concept of the ninth house is the house of God. It represents philosophy, higher mind, foreign lands. And this is the house of God versus goddess. So the ninth opposite the third. We talked about the house of the goddess when we were talking about the third house. The ninth house is the house of God. It takes the joy of the sun. And it's all about philosophy, education, traveling, things like that. The insight here for those with Taurus rising is you are done seeking. You are now synthesizing. This is the wisdom that comes from deep structured study. It is the difference between having an opinion and having a philosophy. The initiation is to teach what you know, publish the definitive paper, commit to a long-term course of study that grants you a credential or a title. Be the mentor. This is great advice for those with Capricorn in the ninth house. Be the mentor. And this is something that we can reflect on all year long, because with Mars forming this Cazimi in the beginning of 2026 in Capricorn, it sets up the stage for the whole year to come. All right, next we have hold on a second here. I've just got to check something really quick. Give me a second here. Hold on a minute. All right. Yep, we're good. Sorry, I just had to check something there. It looked like somebody was coming in and needed some help. So next we have the 10th house, where Capricorn lands in the 10th house. And this is for our folks who have Aries rising, when the ascendant lands in the sign of Aries. And with Mars, Cazimi with Venus, in Capricorn in the 10th house, the archetype we're talking about is the executive emeritus. The traditional concept of the 10th house, it's known as the midheaven, and it represents action, reputation, career. This is the most public area in our chart. And the insight for this January and the year of 26 is Mars is your ruler. It's your chart ruler, and is exalted in the house of career. This is the CEO who no longer needs to shout. The reputation walks into the room before you do. The fight for status is over. The work of leadership begins. And the initiation here is to accept the responsibility you have been avoiding and step into a role of governance. Build a structure that can run without your constant interference. Again, we're talking about the 12 horoscopes for the 12 rising signs, with Capricorn having Mars and Venus and the Sun, Cazimi in the beginning of January. Here in the 7th of January is when that Cazimi is going to be, I think the 6th through the 9th. But on the 7th, they're in the same degree, exact same degree. They're partile, and they're all within 30 arc minutes of each other. So the 7th is a powerful day. For Pisces rising, Capricorn lands in the 11th house, and the archetype we're discussing is the archetype of the council elder. The traditional concept or the name of this house was the good spirit. And we speak about alliances, hopes, community, friends, comrades and colleagues. These are the kinds of topics we see coming up in the 11th house, which is where Capricorn and this Cazimi is going to be taking place. The insight here is this is the wisdom of consciousness. You are not the lone wolf. You are the elder at the village fire. And it is about building alliances with people who are as serious and dedicated as you are. The initiation, the intention and aspiration for Pisces rising for this Cazimi is to gather your cabinet of advisors. Networking is not about exchanging business cards. It's about aligning with people who share your long-term vision. Facilitate the group's success. And this is a really important advice, I think, because oftentimes we go to conferences, we just, it's a habit to swap business cards with people. And we think, if we're not careful, we might think that we're being successful at networking, but that's really not the heart of networking. The heart of networking is finding that alignment with people, the connection on a sheer human to human level of where we are sharing a long-term vision. So that's an important thing to remember for this Mars-Venus Cazimi in the landing in your 11th house for those who have Pisces rising. Then last, we have our last horoscope here, the Aquarius rising. This is where Capricorn lands in the 12th house. And the archetype for this configuration is the monk. And the traditional concept of the 12th house, it was known as the bad spirit, but it speaks to the themes of solitude, of hidden things, of self-undoing, the unconscious. It even talks about institutions and, hospitals and things along those lines. The insight here for this Mars-Venus Cazimi in the beginning of January is the wisdom here is found in silence. And Mars in the 12th is the monk in his cell. The discipline is internal, invisible, and profound. It is the mastery of one's own demons in the dark. And this is a powerful, powerful experience that is coming for those with Capricorn in the 12th house. This Cazimi, Mars-Venus Cazimi in the 12th house, is really igniting our inner ability to develop mastery over our demons, over our places of darkness. And we can really use this as an opportunity to dive inward and to seek those places within where we need to suppress those demons into subjugation, in a way, those inner demons. Or you can let them out and, tame them through kindness, whether it's suppression or not. So whatever it is, but it's about mastery over those demons, whether through suppression or kindness or subjugation or, training them with rewards. So the initiation here is retreat. Work on a project in total secrecy. And maybe like total secrecy is a little bit extreme, but the point is to like really sink into something that's not about being ostentatious. Dedicate time to the solitary practice, meditation, solo training that rebuilds your spirit away from the public eye. This is an opportunity to really get inward, to go inward and to sink inward into those places that are solo, solitary, and to really find space to be individual and singular. All right, so those are the 12 horoscopes. Again, in the link in the description below is the link to the class I'm going to be teaching starting in January. It's a 5-class course on the 5 cosmic catalysts for your best year yet. And you can, up until December 31st, you can choose your own tuition rate. This is with Nadia Shah's Synchronicity University. I'm happy to be teaching there. It's a 5-course class or 5-class course. And you can choose your own tuition rate for as low as $5 a class. It'll be $25 for the course. Of course, you can pay more than that if you'd like to, but really encouraging those who would like to dive into the archetypes of Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Uranus. Join this class. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I encourage you to sign up. This is a great opportunity. I'm excited about the subject matter. I'm excited about these 5 planets and what they are going to be bringing for us in the year to come. So please head on over to synchronicityuniversity.com/Ryan Hunt and sign up for that course. And you can come back here if you joined for part of this and didn't get to see your particular horoscope and had to leave before it was over, or before you saw it. You come back and watch the replay, and it'll be here for you. So if there's anybody online that wants to leave a comment, happy to take comments and questions. And other than that, we're going to be wrapping up this live stream here in a minute. Have just going over the 12 horoscopes for the 12 different zodiac signs, and just finished those up. And for those that missed those, you can come back and rewatch those. And until then, join by the class that I've got coming up in January by signing up with the link below. Happy to see you there. If you're interested in that, feel free to sign up. Looking forward to it. And until next time, as I like to say, keep your eye on the sky and make a wish upon a star.